country is in election mode, and the first phase of election voting is going to be conducted on 19th April. Parties, BJP, Congress, and other parties, regional parties, are coming up with their manifesto. What should be the manifesto of the country as an industry perspective?
Very good question. So, from an industry perspective, what we are looking at is that, let me say, 4 broad points, right? First and foremost, we are saying that India should have growth, and it should be an inclusive growth, which is very important for us from both from industry perspective and also from country's economic growth perspective. But to make that happen, one of the important areas is for big ticket reforms to happen, and that includes land, labor, and of course, to a certain extent, the agriculture sector, which requires support. So to make that happen, there has to be a broad consensus built amongst the center and the states. So the GST structure type of a body will help the implementation of these reforms in a proper and phased manner and make it possible and feasible for the growth of India to be happening. That is number 1. Number 2, MSMEs. So MSMEs have today, to get them better access to the formal economy and from funding from banks and from fintechs, what is needed is that the ECGLS scheme which the government had announced can be institutionalized as a support for them. And to make that happen, that needs to be done in a with a rating agency tie-up, which can help make the rating suitable for MSMEs, so that they can get access to the banks and the fintech players. Similarly, MSMEs have a challenge in terms of getting the funding for the transition to the sustainability and green energy. That also needs to be supported. Final is the point of the digital transition. So if you look at a fund which will support all of these 3 initiatives, and with the rating coming on board, I think MSMEs will be supported. That helps inclusive growth of businesses. The third aspect is the spend on education and health. So if you look at the focus on that, it is to increase the spend on health to almost 6% of the GDP over a period of time. On education to the extent of 6% of the GDP, and on health to the extent of 3% of the GDP. So these 4 actions, with the one more suggestion which we are giving, is for an employment-linked incentive plan, like the PLI had been introduced. Especially this will support certain sectors which are high employment generation: tourism, healthcare, hospitality, and logistics. So these are the common points which I think we are looking at from an industry perspective as to how the growth can be maintained and made more inclusive.
દમણથી નીકળ્યો અને વલસાડ પહોંચ્યો. આખાએ રસ્તા ઉપર જે રીતે લોકો આશીર્વાદ આપી રહ્યા હતા.
Do you have seen the manifesto of BJP, Congress, and or other parties? And have you find something for industry?
No, I mean it is still early days for us to look at it. For us, it is not about the manifesto. It is about the intent of the parties, and these are the points which we have given, which I think will cover our expectations.
Mm-hmm. So in the 10 years of Modi government, the stock market has tripled from 25,000 to 75,000. What do you see the reason behind this jump, sir?
So if you look at it, I think the stock market tends to reflect what they are looking for in the future. So future ki tarah dekhte hain. So is this right now, if you look at, and I think we had the SEBI chairperson in an event very recently when she was talking about saying the valuations are dependent on the growth of the country. So it is important to look at the growth of the country. Mm-hmm. So to make that happen, that is what we spoke about as all the actions which are required. And if we continue to grow at above 7.5-8% rate of growth, which we believe we can, because the infrastructure has been built, social, physical, digital, all of it is action in progress. So I think we believe that then we have a great opportunity to be able to grow. And if we grow, then automatically the stock market will also reflect that. So rather than look at the stock market as an indicator, I think the stock market indicates the growth. So the growth is more important focus for us as industry.
Visiting India and he will be meeting to Prime Minister. And there is also a report that he is coming here to get some place where he can start his electric car plant. How do you see this news if Elon Musk come and start here building this Tesla car?
So see, I think if you look at India has been focusing on a sustainability journey, and mobility is an important aspect for the sustainability journey. So as you know, EVs are already present in India. We have Indian manufacturers who are doing well. We have people committing to invest, whether it be two-wheeler, four-wheeler or the trucks. And all of them are looking at growth in this segment. Therefore, as CII, I think we welcome many investments which are, looking at from that space. And of course, if Tesla comes, it adds even more excitement to the sector. So that is fine and that's very good news for us. But I think it speaks about the focus on the mobility and the focus on the EV, which is happening here. So it presents even more opportunities for us to grow.
Sir, can I ask, do you see as a competitor also if he comes?
No, I mean, anyway, I'm not in EV manufacturing, but if I look at it also as businesses, I think competition is par for the course, right? So it is normal for people to face competition. And I think he will be one more good player in the country, and which is good for the market, because the market grows as more and more players comes in.